Sir, let me first of all thank you, the Chair, as well as all the distinguished members who participated in this debate for being so supportive of the railways. And that is for obvious reason. Because railway is our strategic asset, it's our national treasure, it's an important lifeline for the country, it's a link between our heritage when the railways came for the first time, but also with the future that we all want India to be. We cannot think about a future for a country which has to be modern, which has to be efficient, which has to be cost effective, which has to be environment friendly. And all of that cannot be possible unless railways develop to its full potential. And therefore, we have had a very good long discussion, though normally the resolution of this kind has not been subjected to such long discussion. But I am thankful to all the members, including some of the former ministers. It was started by my good friend who was a Minister of State, who also was chairing for some time. Also by my good friend who is the chairman of the Standing Committee, Mr. Dinesh Trivedi. Also the chairman of this committee itself, which recommended this dividend, Mr. Mehtab. And all of them, I really thankful to them, as well as all the members cutting across party lines, coming from different states. They already have expressed their opinion. I really thank each one of them. Of course, the subject matter is such that obviously the issues related to the constituencies, issues related to the states, how we should try to develop railway line, all of that have come. But I will confine, because of what I really need to do, is to generally about the resolution which I have moved and which I am sure will pass unanimously after end of my reply. And also I will talk about some of the larger issues which have been raised, including by Mr. Dinesh Trivedi, about the overall importance of railways, and in view of that importance, how do you actually make sure that railways are properly on the right track and develop properly? As he himself pointed out, and I really appreciate it, he said that railways has been passing through trouble not now. It has been passing through for a very long time. So railway has been in deep trouble for a long time, and all of us have to make an effort to pull it out, because that's what is our interest lies there, and therefore how do you do it is a challenge. So there are issues which are really speaking coming out of this resolution itself, and the issue related to how much financial support, considering the importance of the railways, central government, generally the main budget should give it to this. And therefore the resolution came in, and I am glad that Mr. Dinesh Trivedi pointed out correctly the history behind it. The first time the situation arose when there was a need for giving dividend, when the railways were making profit, and the British realized that it's a good way of getting some extra revenue. But a lot of water has flown below the bridge over a period of time, and now the railways are in a completely different situation. That time railways were not even taking public service obligation, which they are subject to take. And now they are really taking it. Therefore, we really need to relook at the issues completely. And therefore, going by what is the situation globally, this is something which will be interesting to note. Today, the public service obligation the railways are bearing are to the tune of 34,000 crores. And all governments globally have been supporting the railways. They realize that public service obligation cannot be made by an organization which is supposed to be commercial in terms of its operation, but also has to carry the burden of social service obligation. So therefore, I will just give you very interesting statistics. Each country, including the most developed countries of the world, where there are market forces in operation, they support the railways through budgetary support. Germany gives subsidy of $19 billion. Here we are talking about subsidy of only 32,000 crores. 30,000 crores will not be even $5 billion. Less than that, $4 billion, almost 4.5. Germany gives $19 billion. France gives subsidy of $15 billion. Italy, $8.6 billion. And on, including even a small country like Austria, which is so small, even smaller than some of the cities of India, gives a subsidy of $2.6 billion. And therefore, in terms of passengers kilometers, and that's very interesting, that all governments do it. And in India, how much we are asking for a subsidy? In view of this burden, we have 11 38 billion passengers kilometer of the traffic. And therefore, the subsidy we are asking is only 0.30 paise, 0.30 paise per kilometer, which is, because I was giving international statistics, you compare with international comparison, it is 0.004, not even beggar will take that money, which is the subsidy that we are asking. So EU countries have a larger subsidy. We have got less subsidy or virtually no subsidy for the railways, and therefore we really need some sort of support from the bid, and I am thankful to the members for applying their mind to this. Now, the gross budgetary support on which we give this dividend. So the issue comes in because the subsidy is there, gross budgetary support is given, and from the gross budgetary support, the subsidy is coming. This year, normally, the gross budgetary support goes into various issues. Part of the issue is national projects, which are so important for the country. What we do in the Northeast, what we do in Jammu and Kashmir, and many others. Then, when we run this national important project, we need obviously gross budgetary support. Now, also when we run these lines, they are not profitable, but they are run for a strategic purposes. And therefore, there is also need to have a operational subsidy. So therefore, if you really look at it, then many of these things are the inherent reason for giving subsidy lies in the fact that these are the lines which have been created only for strategic purposes, not for commercial consideration. And therefore, obviously, is a merit for having subsidy. So when we get GBS to provide dividend on it is something which is overburdening the organization. But as I obviously been saying, this is only rational which many of the members, including Mr. Dinesh Trivedi, point out, and I really appreciate it. Therefore, I am saying the gross budgetary support on which the dividend is given needs a proper relook. That's what we have made the position. Now, considering all this, we obviously have got some broader issues which have been brought to the fore by many members. One is, how do you then, in this context, that, as I said, railway is needed. It's the most environment-friendly transportation. We need transportation, but also in transportation which will not emit greenhouse gases, which will not cause the new environmental problems, because that again is choking several cities of the world, including some cities in China, where there has been a huge industrialization, had to be shut down because of this. And one of the major contributions to greenhouse gases come from transportation. Transportation is a significant contributor to this. So unless we deal to the green transport, which is railways, we will not be able to do it. And in view of this, the growth of GDP, which you said 2.5%, I fully agree, and we can actually make that happen. But how do you do it? For that, you need to invest in railways. Now, to invest in railways, there lies the problem related to what we are discussing in the resolution. Because investment would mean that we need to get money from somewhere. So main budget, if you get the money on which you have to pay dividend, it's an additional burden. So we need to find out monies which will come from alternate sources. So what we did was, we have increased the investment into the railways. Last year, 1 lakh crore. This year, 1,21,000 crore, which was almost 2.5 times of what it was. For a simple reason is what you mentioned about its contribution to the GDP. And therefore, in addition to this investment, we are also trying to make investments from dedicated freight corridor, which is 85,000 crores, which are trying to put two new workshops, two manufacturing facilities, one in the constituency of our great leader Pappu Yadav in Madhepura, and other places. So two, one is diesel, one is electric. The idea is that they should try to put in more money, which can generate more investment. More investment will lead to GDP that we are talking about. If you have $2.3 billion, $2.3 trillion of GDP today, if you want 2.5%, it can come with the type of investment that we are making, and it can have a positive contribution on this. At the same time, when you make investment, and that was the point not today but raised earlier by my very distinguished senior leader and also the former railway minister, about servicing of it. So therefore, we need revenues. How do you get revenues for the railways? And that's one of the very challenging times for the railways today, because of the past investment that we made in road, disproportionate to making it in the railways. There has been the rail balance has been completely in off balance. So therefore, more investment has gone to road, less has gone into railways. Obviously, more traffic has moved to the railways, to the road, I'm sorry. So therefore, we need to get more revenues. One, traditional revenue. As you know, the freight was always, we are losing to the road. We are losing freight traffic to the road all the time. And why? Because it was very easy for a minister like me to show more profit. I can increase the freight rate. And this is what has been happening constantly. But it has reached a tipping point. Today it cannot afford to take more. So what I did first time, with the permission and the support of all of you, is reduce the freight rate. And sir, if you permit me, I will lay before the floor of the House this booklet that we have prepared, and I will circulate it to all the honorable members. The initiative that we have taken in the last few months on increasing the freight traffic. It is not just reduction, but many new initiatives we have taken, which is reforming the freight sector of the railways in a significant way. So I will place it before you, before the House, and I will just lay it before the House. Also, sir, we are also working on passengers in a significant way. And again, for the customers, to satisfy them, it's a very difficult thing. Almost 2.27 million, 3 crore almost people, 2.7 crore people travel. So again, we have taken a number of measures to make sure that we don't lose passengers. Because it happened for a short time that passenger numbers also was going down. We have been able to arrest that trend now. We have been able to increase the passenger numbers. But again, the standing committee was right in pointing out that we need to even look at this issue. So therefore, to get passengers back to the railways, we have taken a number of measures. Again, with your permission, I will lay it before the House a little later. But sir, these are not the traditional revenues which will sustain the railway. We need even more to be done. Therefore, as was announced in the budget speech, and incidentally, all the budget announcements made in the previous budget as well as this budget are either implemented fully or under very advanced stage of implementation. So one of the things we did was to create a non-rail revenue directorate, for which additional revenue will come from advertisement, radio. We are starting the radio. We are not investing money. This will be done by somebody else, but railways will get revenue. Then station display. We would have probably 20,000 different displays. 1 lakh display across about 5,000.
Just a minute. Now the 5:30. Now we are supposed to take the half-an-hour discussion. And now when we extend this resolution to complete. Let the minister complete his reply, and afterwards you pass the resolution. Then we will take up the half-an-hour discussion. The House agrees, we can proceed.
Thank you, sir. Right. Sir, thank you. So we are increasing the station development. The first station redevelopment project has been handed over in Bhopal, in Habibganj, and 4-5 more are in the advanced stage, 2 in Delhi, 2 in Gujarat, and other places. So this will again bring in more revenue. Also monetizing the land and monetizing the data. This is what we like to do. But sir, even increasing revenue is one part of the strategy. Reducing cost is more important. So therefore, reducing energy cost, which is the second highest amount, and also water, which is not looking significant. We have started audits and everything. Also bringing in savings in capital expenditure. If you are going to spend 1,21,000 crore, invest 1,21,000 crores, saving 10% also will be significant benefit for the railway. So we are trying to work on that. We are using technology of highest order. Again, I will circulate to all the members about the new initiatives of technology. We are bringing in a completely transformative approach to the railways, and therefore we are working on ERP as well as new accounting system. In fact, this has been a recommendation for a long time. We already rolled out, and the accounting system that will roll out will be integrating right from budgeting to the outcomes in a very integrated manner. Also, we have started a new complaints mechanism, redressal mechanism, which again one day I will share with all of you. But sir, this again would mean that we need an organizational revamp. I am happy to say we are restructuring various arms of railway organization in a significant way. We have taken a number of measures, including trying to structure the whole thing, also delegating power to bring in more decentralization. Railway, as you know, was the most centralized organization in the world probably. So we are trying to decentralize operation, giving delegation, but make sure that the delegated power is used properly. And Kharge Sahab will be happy to know we are introducing a concept of key result area so that each of the functionary will be accountable for something. It's not otherwise we are given authority, they will have to bring in. And also all of this will happen in a transparent way, for which we are also taken a number of measures and also setting up regulator. Sir, many members have pointed out that they need something significantly more for the state than what was available. As I explained, we have increased from 40,000 crore to 1,21,000 crore, almost 3 times, and that's why we are able to give more. West Bengal needs more, obviously. Bihar needs more, obviously, and as you pointed out, Mr. Trivedi, about the problems of Bengal. We are looking into all the states' problems, and therefore we also suggested that joint venture be formed with the state. And I'm happy to say, sir, when we announced it, 16 states gave in principle approval. Now we have gone ahead, number of meetings have taken place. Each of the states which has agreed, we are preparing a separate business plan for which we are involved, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Indian Infrastructure Fund.
Venture has been proposed by the state government of West Bengal to you?
You know, we are in the various stages of talking, so I don't want to comment on that. But I must say that West Bengal has a chief minister who was also a railway minister, so she understands the problem at both ends. We have been constantly in dialogue with each other. The support and the cooperation of West Bengal also is as good as many other states. And therefore, we are working on a joint venture with states. And as I was saying, sir, at least 10 different financial institutions we are involved who are preparing business plan. We'll put some equity, state government will some put equity, and a balance amount to be raised. We are only talking to various financial organizations which will help the state to do it. I must compliment all the chief ministers and most of the states, including the chief minister of Kerala, and I must really compliment him. He met me recently and he very clearly said, we want to join with you and we like to do it in a manner that is really viable, projects only will take. So I really compliment the Chief Minister of Kerala for doing this, also the previous Chief Minister. In fact, he had also agreed, but a change of guard has not resulted into change of position. And therefore, this is again speaks volumes for the people of Kerala that they can think about national issue in this manner. So we are also working on PPP, we are also doing international collaboration, and sir, we are also involving citizens for making railways viable. Again, with your permission, sir, I will place before you a booklet in which we have already done number of measures involving the citizens. I must compliment them. So many of the stations in India are getting completely different look thanks to the selfless, dedicated participation of these publicly spirited people. They are spending their own money, they are trying to come forward, and so this is something thanks to the leadership of a Prime Minister, that Prime Minister has been able to bring in a new element. He is a strong proponent of railways. He believes that railways can bring in a transformation of India, and therefore we are doing it and we are trying to do this. So last few points about which some of the members asked me. One is, as the Mamtaji had prepared, we are preparing a physical, on the ground, not vision, but a real plan about how railway connectivity should happen. Many of the members which have raised the issue, I would like to tell you that we are preparing a physical plan for railways for 2030. There has not been a plan like this. For a simple reason, if you come and meet me, I will take up your line. But why should we not take up a line based on certain logic? And therefore, we are devising that plan. This plan will not be ready unless all the stakeholders, like honorable members of parliament, state government, legislative assembly members, will be consulted. It will be done in a shortest possible time. We already started work, and in fact, former member of the engineering has been given this task to make this happen. We are also working on HR. We are making 3 new dedicated freight corridors. The point some of the members made. We are also creating marketing and also helping to start a new startup program. The idea is, as you mentioned, a national policy for railways. In fact, you are aware that the previous government had appointed Mr. Rakesh Mohan to come out with an integrated transport policy. Because actually speaking, we need integrated transport policy in which railways will be a component of that. That policy is ready. We have actually, I have been having a lot of meetings with Dr. Rakesh Mohan. We'll try to take his ideas on board. But idea is, I fully appreciate the demand, the concern, the involvement of all of you. Everybody wants more. And as you can see, we have already got more than what normal business would have given. But that's not enough. More is not enough. We have more, but not enough. To make it from more to enough, railway must become vibrant. And to make that, we need strategy, which you have put in place. The strategy is under implementation, and that cannot happen unless such a great support that I received from all of you. So I thank you, and also, sir, with your permission, seek your indulgence to move this resolution to be passed by each one of you. Thank you very much, sir.